Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And meeting to order. Okay. Public comment policy. If there's anybody from the public that wants to speak, we have a sign-up sheet over on that table over there. And if you go and fill that out, we'll call you in order at public comment time. And we set aside 30 minutes. Each of you get 3 minutes to speak. And the board will not respond unless the chair allows it. That's how it goes, okay? Make sure my ringer's on. Okay, everybody look over the consent agenda.
To move.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
I'll make a motion to name Brian Che as chair for the remainder of 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Congratulations, Mr. Che.
I don't know about that.
And I will make a motion to appoint Tim Wickman as Chair Pro Tem for the remainder of 2025.
I'll second that.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks, Tim.
Okay, next up, Marilyn Kennedy, Election Administrator, Auditor's Office. Canvass for city school election, second tier.
Is this just for Carter Lake?
No. Okay, so what we're doing today is all of the school districts that we share boundary with. We canvass all of our results from Potawatomi County last Wednesday. Then they canvass theirs in their, respective counties. Then they have to send me the results. I combine all of their results with ours. So that's what this is. There's not as many as last time. So this is the first sheet. Yeah, I don't know if I have to get them out to some of the schools there. So there's, I think there's 6 of each of these. So there's 18, 20. You want to start that one, Susan? We'll just through. You want to start that one?
Sure.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve that. That wouldn't be before we start signing.
That probably would help.
Yeah, and I'll make a motion to approve the canvas for the second tier and authorize the auditor to pay the cost.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
The rest of them I can sign later if you'd like.
There was no change in that Carter Lake.
There was no
Tally,
change.
right?
The numbers were exactly the same.
Supervisor Wickman needs to sign that.
There was an audit last week of the Carter Lake City Council race where Jackie Wall lost her seat by 1 vote. She requested, under Iowa law, she was able to request a recount. That recount was done on Thursday and there was no change. The results remained the same.
So one vote does
Vote.
matter.
1 vote does matter, yes. Are these, there you go.
Those are finished.
So what they're doing here is they're signing to certify the results of the elections, or in other words, to canvass the elections, which is kind of a word that we don't use all that often, but
This is when an auto pen at work. Them signed.
You've signed this. Once we sign that, you both of you guys sign this quickly.
Jim?
Yes, it does.
A lot involved with the election process.
All of papers.
Very much needed and appreciated.
how many of you realize we ran a Penske truck
Marilyn?
to deliver and pick up all of the election machines? Because they got to get there, right, to the individual precincts? Things you don't think about. This last election had 31 ballots countywide. Because of the different school districts and how precincts overlap in those districts.
Thanks for your patience.
Sorry, Matt Morgan's working on that one. Sorry, they're coming together.
Will you have Mary Ann sign that, please?
And one of the fingers.
When you get time?
And the ones that they're coming together, not in the same. They're slow in there, pulling the knife. Yep. I would speak slow.
Why am I signing? You're asking yourself? Because in addition to being the auditor, I'm also the commissioner of elections. in Waterloo County. See, you're learning all kinds of things.
She's gonna take a photo.
There's a trainer one. Should be one more.
And we'll be around for a while today if there's anything.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marilyn. Thank you.
Oh,
Are there just two for training?
Yes.
We all done?
Well,
Mary Ann has to sign, but we can roll.
Okay. Next up, Judge Kathleen Kalnowski. Discussion of the decision to approve and authorize the board to sign National Adoption Day proclamation for November 22nd, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, roll call, excuse me.
Chairman Shay,
Yes.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Me?
Yes, please do.
All right. National Adoption Day, November 22nd, 2025. Whereas Pottawatomie County recognizes the importance of providing children with permanent, safe, and loving families through adoption. And whereas more than 113,000 children in the United States foster care system are waiting to be adopted, including more than 600 children across the state of Iowa. And whereas within Iowa's 4th Judicial District, which includes 9 counties in southwest Iowa, more than 50 children are currently waiting to find their permanent families. And whereas to help these children find nurturing and lasting homes, the 4th Judicial District of Iowa will open the doors of the Pottawatomie County Courthouse on Saturday, November 22nd, 2025, to finalize local adoptions and celebrate families who have opened their hearts and homes to children in need. And whereas the celebration, along with similar events across the country, brings together judges, social workers, community partners, and volunteers, all dedicated to ensuring that every child has the opportunity to grow up in a stable, supportive, and loving family. And whereas Pottawatomie County extends its gratitude to foster and adoptive parents, families, and professionals who dedicate their time, compassion, and resources to improving the lives of children in our community. Now therefore be it resolved that the Pottawatomie County Board of Supervisors does hereby proclaim Saturday, November 22nd, 2025 as National Adoption Day in Pottawatomie County, and encourages residents to join in recognizing the importance of foster care adoption and supporting families who make adoption possible.
Judge, would you like to speak?
I would like to thank everybody who is here for supporting us this year and many, many years in the past. I would particularly like to recognize one of our big partners is Iowa's Department of Health and Human Services. And with me today is Angie Meyer, who is an adoption specialist with HHS here in our local region. Also with me are colleagues, Chief Judge Craig Dreismeyer and District Associate Judge Matt Schuling. Judge Schuling will be having some of the adoption hearings on Saturday, as well as me. All of us thank all of you for your support and for the recognition that we know we want to give these families, and encourage other folks to consider adoption and foster care when they're thinking about ways to help their communities.
What time does your event start?
We start at 9 a.m. and you're welcome to stop into the lobby, get your face tattoos, get some cookies, make some crafts, lots of fun stuff, or poke your head into the courtrooms on the 4th floor and watch one of our hearings. So thank you so much.
Thanks for what you do, Judge.
Yes, we appreciate it.
Good. Yeah, you want to come up and do a photo with us?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Stand up here. Do we go down front or do I?
Thank you.
I should. I suppose I should.
Have all the judges come up?
Come on. Yeah, we're here.
Come on
Angie,
up, guys.
Matt, Craig.
Okay.
Oh, gosh, no. It's my pleasure. No. Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
One more
Appreciate it.
blurb. I forgot to thank Kate Gerber, who can't be here today, but she's done a wonderful job helping us get the word out.
She's
So
good.
she's top notch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Judge Kanowski.
Okay, next up, Jamie Peterson, GIS Coordinator. Discussion and or decision to approve and authorize the board to sign proclamation supporting GIS Day. You'd read that, please. Let me ask for a roll call first. I need a motion and a second.
I'll do that for you.
Okay,
Second.
okay, now read it.
Okay. Traffic Information Systems Day, November 19th, 2025. Whereas the Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors recognizes that an understanding use and application of geospatial technology is critical to operating our infrastructure, sustaining our natural resources, and stimulating economic growth, thus benefiting the welfare of the general public throughout Potawatomi County. And whereas Geographic Information Systems, GIS, technology allows us to see and model complex relationships and patterns to more intelligently respond. And whereas there is a need to promote GIS awareness, education, and technical training to use this rapidly developing technology to its full potential. And whereas the Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors acknowledges that those that have chosen GIS as their profession or as part of their discipline to improve the lives of our citizens. And whereas to recognize and support the efforts of nonprofits who work on activities to improve conservation, human services, and various humanitarian efforts to better our world. And whereas having a day of GIS activities open to students, citizens, and government leaders will help promote STEM education and inspire others to a higher calling to use technology for good. And whereas Potawatomi County is committed to utilizing GIS to inform decision-making and better service residents and make useful graphic information open and easily available to the public as a platform for innovation. Now, therefore, we, the Potawatomi County Board of Supervisors, will celebrate GIS Day on November 19th, 2025.
Mary Ann, would you do a roll call?
Will. Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Jamie, would you like to speak?
Yeah, I would just like to take a minute to thank each of you supervisors individually. You've been very supportive of the GIS department. Professionally and financially, we come to you with needs and software and hardware and all these things, aerial photography. You've all been very supportive of our department and have helped us achieve what we're doing now. So just wanted to say thank you. You practice what you preach when you sign this proclamation. Thank you.
The stuff you do down there is very incredible.
Thank you.
Really like what you guys do. Thank you. Oh. Just great. Give it to you. Yeah.
But shortly after I got on the board and Jamie reached out and said, you know, if there's any time we can help you solve a problem, let me know. And we've been down there several times to get GIS involved to solve issues.
Imagine me. Very. Just walk down. Oh, Appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate what you guys do. Okay, thanks for that. Next up, Brenda Moran, Chair, Potawatomi County Housing Trust Fund. Presentation to provide an update, current programs, funding impact, and future housing needs within Potawatomi County. Morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Brian. Hello, all to the supervisors and everyone in the room. As Brian said, my name is Brenda Moran, and I happen to be the current president or chairperson of the board. I would like to introduce those with me today. On my left is Keith Jones, board member, Brad Greff, member of the Metropolitan Area Planning Association that helps us, and Courtney Harder with the City of Council Bluffs. I'm going to let Courtney begin the process of telling you a little bit more about us and our history.
So as you'll remember, several years ago, we joined the Council Bluffs Housing Trust Fund and Potawatomi County Housing Trust Fund into one organization. And so that we were able to make sure that all of our dollars that were allocated by the state of Iowa, specific to go to the housing trust funds, came to Pot County. And through those efforts, we have continued to make sure that we're spending money in certain ways that meet the mission of that, or of what we're required to do with our housing allocation plan, which is down payment assistance for home buyers, repairs to people of low and moderate income in their household so they can stay safe in their home. Eviction prevention are the three big things that we fund, as well as some emergency assistance through our dollars that we allocate out to our partners in the community. And we really are just an organization that provides dollars to different organizations to make sure that they can continue their mission. And I believe that you've all been provided one of our brochures. It has a list of the folks that we have funded in the past and how we're supporting their efforts in our community. So I think that what we're trying to do is really just show you that that benefit continues in Pot County. And we received in 2025 just over $400,000 that we were able to put in the community through what we received from Iowa Finance Authority, as well as the local match that we're required to bring in to support that, which is 25% of the total cost that we receive. I did a little math for you because I know when I was here last time and spoke to you, one of the things you wanted to make sure of is that we were spending money not just in City of Council Bluffs, and that those resources were getting allocated throughout the entire county. And in 2025, we spent about 68% in CB and 32% in the county, which I think is really proportional to where we are from a population standpoint. There's one outlier year, and that's in 2023. But otherwise, we've really maintained between 32 and 35% of our annual allocation that we're putting out in the community to go towards the efforts in the entire county. So what this means for you is really just an opportunity to ask us questions, make sure that we're meeting those requirements of our partners and you. And I'm going to turn it back over to Brenda to talk about what we're asking for today, correct? Is that what we were going to do?
Oh, I was going to give Keith.
Oh, yes, sorry. I'm not following the agenda.
Go ahead.
Oh, well.
I'll just point out with the brochure, I think I handed some out to the audience so that you can follow along as well. But the organization really is doing very important work in the county. And this brochure does a great job of just talking about the things that Courtney mentioned there, which if you look where it says how do grantees use our funds, homelessness, sheltering and prevention, specifically Micah House and New Vision's Homeless Services are receiving assistance from us for that purpose. The second area is rental housing assistance, specifically Peace Haven Retirement Home in Walnut has been an organization we've supported, as well as rental assistance all across the county. And then also the Iowa Legal Aid staff who work to prevent eviction aversion, or to create eviction aversion. And then lastly, homeownership assistance programs to organizations like Habitat and NeighborWorks. So specifically homelessness, rental assistance, as well as permanent homeownership. We believe permanent homeownership is the ultimate goal. It provides perhaps the best platform for residents to give back to the county and just be enjoying the environment that we all live in, and building a greater life for themselves, including, wealth, and many times that starts with homeownership. So these programs are important in that regard, and we hope that you'll consider continuing to support the effort.
Quick question, do you have a specific program for homeless veterans? Is that in your purview?
We don't have a set aside for veterans specifically. So we outline everything in our housing allocation plan, and our efforts are really just a pass through. So we want to make sure that our nonprofits that are in the community, the work that they're doing, we're supportive of that. And so organizations like New Visions that perhaps is assisting folks with the veteran status
Veteran services
are, yes,
not confused.
not specifically.
I guess I can go a little on that too. We open up every local housing trust fund across the state. There's 22 of them. 27 of them now. They all run their programs a little differently, like SWIPCO over on the crescent around us. They have their own housing staff at SWIPCO, and they run the programs kind of like a Habitat for Humanity does here. They actually do the work and contract that out, whereas we pass our money through those organizations with an annual, we have an annual application, local application cycle where groups apply to us. And in fact, today we're going to have that discussion of where our 2026 funds are going to go at our board meeting. So we don't choose necessarily who applies. It's the local organizations that do apply to us on an annual basis.
Okay, you're helping out in the county. Is that mainly small towns?
It depends. It's typically not the small towns that are applying to our funds. It's the nonprofits that assist in those small towns.
Okay,
Or the organizations like Peace Haven and Neola that has their living facility. They've applied directly to us. But no, the cities themselves are not applying to us. It's the organizations that work within those communities.
okay. Thank you.
And over the years, our match has gone up as IFA funds have continued to come. And so initially in 2017, we were at $36,000 local match, and now we are at $94,000 local match. And because of that progression, we come to you today and thank you very much for the $15,000 that you have given us in the past 3 years. But for the fiscal year 2027, we are hoping that you would consider increasing that to $40,000, as well as continuing the 4-year process that you had guaranteed for us to be able to receive these funds. We really believe that in doing so, with the local match increasing, it is very difficult for us to continue to raise funds in that manner. However, we believe that between the money that we get from the city of Council Bluffs and the money that we get from the county, we can also then, as a board, fundraise an additional $10,000 in order to meet the full match so that we can get the $3 to $1 into our communities. Truly, in quick summary, we believe that we've been a trusted partner with the Iowa Finance Authority in order to get these funds since 2011. We believe that we are transparent in what we do and give to the local community partners that then do the work. But there are certain things that we actually then ask of them in order to be sure that they are serving the under 80% LMI, as well as the focus primarily on those that have 30% or less of the median income in this area, which is the poorest of the poor in our areas. And then we are hoping to continue the focus on countywide money to be sure that it's getting into the hands of those people in our rural communities as well. And we want to be sure to optimize and opt the opportunity to really be sure to get all of the funding that we can. And so in doing so, we come to you and ask for an additional funding of $40,000 for fiscal year 2027 and beyond. We thank you again. Go ahead.
Can I ask how much the city of Council Bluffs contributes?
The city has allocated $50,000 in the last 2 budgets towards the Housing Trust Fund. Before that, we actually allocated $50,000 for a 3-year period with our COVID funds. What we found is that the benefit is there and we see that it's getting back into the community. So council believes continue that in our regular budget cycle.
That 15,000, that's through the end of this fiscal year, right?
Yeah, it goes into 2027 is the last fiscal year that we would use.
Okay.
Receive.
We will begin budget discussions here probably in the next, starting next month, probably until March. And Mitch, did you get that? Write that down. You got that? Today is just, if I can, Mr. Chairman,
Go ahead.
today's
Go ahead.
just discussion only. There's no
Yes, sir.
action taken.
Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful program. It helps a lot of people. So
Yeah, and I think
we'll
that
take a look at it.
as Brenda said, our goal is to maximize how much we can get from the Iowa Finance Authority. If we cannot raise our 25% local match, they will reduce our allocation. So that's where we want to make sure that we always have that secured so that we can get as absolutely much as we can from the state of Iowa because we know our community needs it.
And that's for the next fiscal year.
Correct.
And hopefully beyond. We know that the match is probably going to continue to go up. That's just the way that goes. And so we're continuing to try to be sure and work within these budgets very, very well so that we know that we can in fact help the community and impact them as greatly as possible.
We have secured our match for we operate on a calendar year, just as a difference. So we've secured our local match requirement for 2026 already. This would be for our 2027 year. We just want to be proactive and make sure that we understand you're in a budget cycle, that you need to have that in your items.
You mentioned you work with your nonprofit funding groups to work within the communities. A lot of these small towns, well, I know 3 for sure, they've got a new city clerk. And with the elections last week, there were several new mayors that were instated and several new council people. So I think we really need to do an outreach education and make sure everybody is aware of this program, just to create more awareness for it.
We can do that.
We can do that, certainly. Thank you.
Jeff, you got any questions?
Well, you have a pretty good team, and Courtney, you're normally the face I see when this trust fund comes up, so hopefully you stay after it for a while and keep helping the people. Thank you.
It's a really great program, and we have a board of nine that not all of us could be here today, but just really people that value what we do in our community and want to make sure that we're able to get as much back out there as we possibly can, because there is so much need, as you know. And some of the things that we've started to do, especially with that eviction diversion of having Iowa Legal Aid embedded in the courthouse, the numbers are showing just how much benefit that gives back to our residents. And that's really what matters, is giving back to our residents.
Are you asking the city to increase their?
We're asking to stay at same level because that would be really proportionate. The city does require that our match go within the city limits of Council Bluffs. But yes, we're requesting to stay at level right now.
Okay. So if we can increase any, that will help.
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
We bring that to our budget discussions.
Thank you.
I think it's
And if you
really
have further questions, please let us know. I'm famous for thinking of the best question after the meeting is over. So please
I
don't
think that's
hesitate.
human nature.
That may well be, but I just want you to know that we could certainly help to try to
Everybody
answer
that gets
anything.
up to present, they should have said, I should have said.
Exactly, exactly. You got that. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you.
Really
Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
consideration.
Okay. Next up, Doug Reed, Director of Emergency Management Agency. Update on disaster recovery. Hello, Doug.
Good morning.
Sorry to start this up much.
I'll be quick. I know I've only got about 2 minutes.
Doug,
After,
should we quit?
no.
We didn't think so.
But I will, try to do briefly. What you have in front of you, I can. No, I'll just walk away from it anyway. This is just a current update as of some of the data we were able to pull from FEMA system yesterday, just to kind of catch you up to speed. Holistically, over the last year's 3 disasters, and everybody applied countywide as far as public assistance programs. So governments, nonprofits. Our original estimates, which are the estimates that go to FEMA, not necessarily our like morning after kind of stuff. We were just shy of 14 million in those identified costs. You can see there in red that insurance is covered, just about 2.9 million of that. Current FEMA approved costs are at 10.2 million. We still have projects being developed for some of the applicants, so that's not going to be the end all be all, but About 1.3 million in additional mitigation funds for those projects have been identified to be added to those projects. And the federal share on what we currently have on the books would be just over 7.7 million, leaving 2.3 million as the local cost share. So if you remember, whatever's approved in these projects, FEMA will reimburse up to 75% of that overall project. Then the local entities, the applicants, are responsible for 25%, unless, of course, we are in compliance with the state laws regarding the emergency management program or emergency plans or certified, those kind of things. Then the state will kick in 10% to that 25 match, so it reduces it to the applicant.
Correct?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so we're good. So out of that 2.3, it'll be split between us and the state in their final closeout. We'll see that. We have 13 applicants ranging from the county, my office, county roads, obviously is a separate applicant typically. Levy drainage districts, obviously the city of Minden, and some of our other smaller communities and things like that. We have a total of 96 projects that were initially developed, with 17 withdrawn for various reasons. Could be it was combined with another project. They might not have met the public assistance program guidance, or it was just less than about $3,000 or something, so they qualify for a project. We have funded and closed 10 of those projects thus far. The remaining ones that have been approved, I mean, roughly 10% everything put in for. We have 35 in queue right now that are obligated, that we're just waiting for the federal share. And then that will progress to the closeout process with FEMA. Once that happens, then the state will review everything, get any additional information they need from us on those projects. We'll close it out with them. They'll send us the 10%, and then we're pretty well done with that. And we have 34 that are in various stages of the approval process or finishing being developed. On the backside are the applicants that would be of primary interest to the board at this point. The county, all the county projects, 13 projects, that covers everything, sheriff, conservation, our building and vehicle damages from last summer. You can see those costs there. And again, quite a bit of insurance on that, obviously, with a lot of wind and hail damage to our facilities and vehicles. Nobles Lake, which are the trustees for, have 6 eligible projects, and you can see their funding there. The county roads projects that are going on, we've got 7 that we've got eligible and through the process. Many of them were just transferred a couple days ago, moved on to the next step of the process to get final approval and be obligated. So hopefully that will happen. The numbers look a little meek on that right now, but I just wanted to put a note there for you that there's still one project under review in the development phase that's worth just about $320,000 on its own. So hopefully once we get them some more information, which actually our new county engineer just sent me some documentation via email when they were talking about the housing trust fund, and I forwarded it on to FEMA. So that should hopefully start moving forward here shortly. And then just, of course, because the city of Minden was our hardest hit jurisdiction during everything last year, their approximate costs that have been funneled through the FEMA system so far is just over 5.7 million, with about 2.6 million of that covered by their insurance. So they're right now looking, and again, there's still some projects that are being worked. Right now, their best federal cost share will be just about 1.9 million, with 629,000 for the state and local split.
Would that also include insurance?
Yeah, that's what those numbers don't include. It's just, I showed what they have in insurance reductions through the FEMA process, because insurance comes first for all of us. And then, so whatever might be eligible, they reduce what we receive our claims from our insurance company. So with that, the road stuff is going good anyway. And we're.
And you worked on that a couple weeks ago,
Yeah, it's.
road program.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You've been
Yeah.
working on that for a while.
Yeah. Couple months now.
Yeah.
And, the foreman with the roads department have been very helpful in getting us found some documents that we need. And help me make sense of it, to put it in FEMA's language, and, the new county engineers, shouldered right into it. Like I said, more, it's in here hearing stuff that's got stuff coming to me, so it's going well. Hopefully we get all these obligated here. Typically, once it's approved, we're maybe, I'd hope we'd have everything obligated by the end of the calendar year. We'd be ready to move on with it and just go through the closeout process with the state. So probably be a little jump in the numbers, nothing major, because not everything's obligated. So there's a lot of administrative cost projects that will also get tacked onto this. So per applicant, per disaster, and it's 5% of the whole deal, and that's outside of the federal local split. That's 100%.
Okay.
They don't mind funding 5%, they're 100%. So
It's pretty cheap.
that is all I have, unless you have any questions on that.
Questions, comments?
Doug, we have issues probably every year, tornadoes, flooding, all of that. So what you have here are projects already in the works. Now, if new issues come up, are these incorporated into all of this? Or they set aside, or it's a different entity in its own, FEMA? Maybe update you a little bit on that issue.
If I understand your question right, if we have something else that occurs on top of what's going on.
Right, say
now,
Minden gets hit again,
new disaster, completely separated.
separated.
It makes it a little more challenging, just because you have to prove that repairs were already done, and
Okay.
because everything is based on pre-disaster conditions, and they don't do a whole lot of dovetailing. That's what made 24 so challenging, is because we had 3 presidential disaster declarations that came right on top of each other. So it made it difficult programmatically with FEMA to identify, well, we had this happen in May, right? And we started repairs, but then we had this happen, 30 days later, and it re-damaged what was fixed, so we hadn't got to that. So we don't know which is which, so you just kind of work it out, attribute it to one of them, and move forward. So,
Okay, so FEMA's available to, able to, incorporate that in all disaster relief, however it happens.
we'll find a way.
Doug, thank you.
Mhm.
Any further questions, comments?
Thank you, Doug, for.
Thanks for
putting this all
coming in.
together.
Thank you. Yep. Thanks for what you do. Appreciate that. Let's see, we need to. Next up is Doug Reed, Emergency Management, discussion under decision to approve and authorize board chair to sign letter for the state, or to the state, for the use of UEI number for drainage districts used for the 2024 disaster. Explain what the UEI number is for everybody.
If you're familiar with federal grants and stuff, before they used to use what they call the Duns and Bradstreet number. This is just them replacing something. Basically, the UEI is issued by the feds themselves now. And it's the same thing, right?
Doug,
Same purpose, same number. They just switch from using DNV to their own system, for whatever reason.
okay.
So everybody that receives a federal grant, and that applies to disaster recovery grants, has to have a UEI number. Traditionally, and the issue that's trying to get fixed before it becomes an issue, is that traditionally, a lot of these special districts, like our drainage and levee districts, since their finances run through the county auditor's office, have used the county's Duns and Bradstreet number, the UEI number historically. There's some administratively in the process that are worried that, okay, if they use the county's UEI number, but something was wrong in the processing, the paperwork, what they claim they're overpaid, who's responsible for it, how it gets back. So they emailed you all a resolution to approve a couple of months ago that we kind of put the brakes to, because basically at the end of the day, if something happened, then the county proper would be on the hook for the bill at the end of the day, and that ain't quite right, because these are elected officials making their own decisions. So what I've worked out with the state is the letter I sent to you all last week and copied to the county attorney's office as well. That just says, listen, they can use it for this set of disasters. We'll ask the auditor kindly to have our drainage clerk send notification to them saying, hey, you need to get whoever to start working on getting your own UEI number for future endeavors. And then it just declares that, like we do anyway, that through the auditor's office, the drainage clerk, we're kind of watching what's going on with that money. And then if there is an overpayment or something like that, or something needs recovered by the state or the feds due to whatever happens in the disaster recovery process, that we will work with them to recover that cost, but we're not going to be on the hook for it, because at the end of the day, it's their responsibility.
Okay. Anybody gonna make a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the letter.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Thanks for your work on this.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it, Doug.
Yeah, Doug, thanks for taking care of that. I mean, it was kind of a pretty bland request the first time. And now it's a little more explained, and I think if they follow through and get their own numbers, we'll be out of the picture altogether.
Yeah. And the only one that really doesn't matter or apply to, if you will, would be like Nobles Lake, because you guys are the trustees. So
Well, we won't make any mistakes on that one.
Really?
I hope not, because my number is different than your guys.
Oh, great. Thanks, Doug.
Yep.
Okay, next up, Matt Wyatt, Director of Planning and Development. Discussion and or decision to approve final plat of Wonder Ridge, a subdivision situated in Hazeldale Township, and to sign planning and zoning resolution number 2025-04. Need a motion to approve?
The move.
Second.
Mary Ann, would you do a roll call for me?
Chairman Shay,
Aye.
Supervisor Miller,
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen,
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Okay.
And this is the one that we had the public hearing on a couple of weeks ago.
Yes,
So
yes. It was approved by Planning and Zoning Commission. Hey, any questions, comments? Next up, Public Safety Communications Task Force. Discussion and or decision to approve and authorize the board to sign agreement with Motorola Solutions.
all right, to give us some history and bring us up to date here. The Board of Supervisors assembled the Public Safety Communications Task Force on June 3rd, 2025, with a targeted goal to clearly and fully identify the priority needs of the public safety communication system, or the 911 system, as most of you call it. The scope of the task force involved three key factors: migration from Orion to the ISIX, which is the Iowa statewide interoperability communication systems, which requires the addition of 2 towers on the west side of the bluffs. So there would be one in Council Bluffs and one in Crescent. And replacement and reprogramming of the existing equipment and technology. The second component is the 911 consoles, which current technology end of life is 2030. Is that right? 2030. And it's to replace the primary center consoles. We have 9 downstairs in our 911 center, and to replace 2 at the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center. And it's also a requirement to accommodate the new technology. And then the third piece is to upgrade and refurbish the tower equipment. Most of our tower sites have 15-year-old technology and components, and we all know how quickly technology changes. And then the other piece was to evaluate a Tri-County 28E tower site with Harrison, Shelby, and Potawatomi, which would have been north of Interstate 80, trying to fill in a voided area. Task force members, and we have several of us here in the room today. It was myself and Kim Wickman as the supervisor representatives, Sam Arkfeld and Jason Studi from the Sheriff's Office 911 or 911. Mitch Kai, our Chief Financial Officer, Doug Reed, Michelle Bowes, and Gabe Barney from EMA, Justin James, Council Bluffs Fire Chief, Dan Roberts, who represented the Trainer Volunteer Fire and Rescue, and also the County Fire Chiefs Association. Jesse Tooley from the Avoca Fire and Rescue, Matt Davis, Council Bluffs Police Chief, and Jason Slack, we brought him in for Buildings and Grounds. The task force met on July 22nd, August 19th, and September 16th. The August and September meetings included Motorola representatives, and a study session with the board and the task force for funding solutions was held on October 14th. Follow-up from the Board of Supervisors study session, Jason Studi provided the numbers of a push-to-talk transmission on our radio system just for a year's worth of radio traffic was 1,559,768. So you get an idea of how important this system is just by the call volume in 1 year. After that study session, we had a separate committee led by Crescent resident Brian Shea and the conservation reps to identify other tower locations in Crescent. So we have 3 site options that have been identified. And with the Motorola price range that they presented, it's a difference of $316,000 between the 3, but the cost doesn't include the lease arrangements. The county attorney's office has reviewed the Motorola Solutions customer agreement and the state of Iowa master agreement, and we just got her report back this morning, and she's okay with the terms of the contract. Funding options that we discussed at our study session include cash and bond. The board has set aside $6 million in capital improvements, and we're looking at approximately $10 million in bonds. It's just shy of a $16 million project. The board needs to designate a point of contact for the county with regard to the Motorola contract. And it would be my recommendation that we appoint Sam Arkfeld as the county's POC for handling all components of this project, which is scoped out to be a 2-year project. Out of scope from the proposal submitted today, there's going to be a separate agreement with a third party, which is high maintenance, I believe, high maintenance modifications for the microwave waveguide and the dehydrator replacement. And this is for all of the existing towers. And that's a quote of $156,000. In addition, out of scope is monitoring software for the microwave. It provides alerts when adjustments are needed. So after a windstorm or a weather event, if a signal isn't strong, it'll send out a report that corrections need to be made. Currently, Orion does this for us, but we would need a separate agreement with a third party, and we do not know the cost for this at this time. Bids to replace the HVAC units at the tower buildings. Each of the tower sites has a shelter building that there's equipment that's maintained in that needs to be climate controlled. And a lot of the HVAC units are becoming unreliable. And we have a quote for $175,000 to replace all of those units. And also out of scope is, for the proposal today, is sharing a tower site with the other two counties, Harrison and Shelby. I think we need to do more research on that option, and we can table that from the scope at this time. I would like to thank the task members for their commitment and contributions to leading the county to make the best decision. I truly believe we had the right people at the table, leading the discussion and finding the solution. I also want to thank Motorola for providing guidance and being attentive to our requests along the way. I know you guys have been, when issues pop up, you've got responses right away, and we appreciate your attention. We have an option today for November 18th. The Motorola pricing that's been provided to us is good through November 25th. We could ask Motorola for an extension to mid-December, which would give us time to identify the site for Crescent. I think it's difficult for us to agree on a path forward without knowing exactly where that tower is going to go in Crescent. If they approve our extension, that'll give us time to also review the contract more thoroughly with the county attorney and the project manual and the project timeline so that we've got everything synced up. The proposal that Motorola has provided with the, which number do I want to give here? The bundle discount, the high point was $15,250,317. That was the highest of the three options on site locations. But that includes all of the components for converting from the Orion system to ISIX, the cost to upgrade all of the technology, all of the towers, and help me out with the rest of the components here.
Well, does that still have the waveguide costs in there?
No, the waveguide cost has been removed.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen the waveguide? Okay.
No, I mean that.
The newest one this morning.
Oh, I didn't
You haven't
send
seen it
those
either,
out.
Brian? I haven't seen.
They came from Motorola and I failed to get them out to you guys.
Now, that doesn't include the leasing for the new tower, doesn't include the road maintenance or anything like that.
The three options that we have don't include the leasing, but they do include estimated cost for the road improvements.
Okay. And ISIX is a statewide system, and Potawatomi County is one of the only counties not on it at this time. We want to be able to do that, to speak to all the other county state forces. You guys have comments, questions?
I think the only thing I'd want to kind of clarify on the funding side of it
Okay.
is from the 6 million that Susan lives through for cash and the $10 million on bonding. I think it's going to be a minimum of 6 million of cash and a maximum of 10 of bonding. Hopefully we can find some more cash in our budget discussion as we go through this next year to be able to throw more cash and bond less. So that's just going to be the extremities of where those would be at.
That's a good point.
That's true. I mean, what do we, Motorola's here, I don't know if they can speak for that or not. Is there, I think the prices are good through the 25th, is that correct?
That's correct.
How about December 17th?
I can't make that decision right now.
Okay. Well, it's difficult for this board member to sign any kind of a contract without the bottom line figures. for everything, which includes the site selected in Crescent.
Yep.
And also how we're gonna pay for it. And I think that Chairman Shea will probably set up a study session again with this board in the near future to discuss the funding part of it. And then if we can possibly get a little bit of extended time for Motorola, I think that would help out a lot.
Are you gentlemen with Motorola? Okay. Is there a performance guarantee with all of this equipment, new equipment being installed? Because I understand, I think before I got on board, there was an issue with Motorola handhelds. Dustin Harris talked to me, a former employee with the Council Bluffs City Police, and he said for 3 years, they had very much trouble communicating on those radios. I don't know if that's ever been looked into or what the causes were. But again, I mean, was anything addressed, was anything looked into on the Motorola side of it?
So when we were looking at this, looks like our current system, the coverage you have today on Ryan. So the goal of with the task force, looking at if we can have better coverage with joining this, and that's how we've been determining where those new sites are going to be. So I mean, all the coverage maps that we've been looking at, sharing and going through with sites, as well as adding additional coverage with the ISIX towers, is we're getting a 95% coverage throughout the county of the maps that we're doing. So from what you have today to what we're looking to move to, it moves in and covered.
Okay, so is that considered a performance guarantee then? Is that what I'm hearing?
But the 95% coverage, yes, so it's a performance guarantee.
All right. Thank you.
Jeff, I would caution you to take the word of an end user on a system this complex, because there was lots of variables on the original changeover from radios. We had similar issues. We tracked those issues down. Some of them were caused by a bad antenna, basically, or repeater, BDA in another offsite facility. It was causing noise that was making our radios difficult to transmit because the actual tower was just getting bombarded with data. And so it's kind of hard. I've heard complaints too. I've heard complaints from cops and from fire. The coverage is not necessarily an issue currently. This whole idea was based around, do we want to go to the Iowa system to set ourselves up really for the future? We don't have a lot of juice when it comes to the Orion system, and the Iowa system's far more easily worked with, and we do a lot. It'd be nice to be able to communicate across the state when we go on large mutual aid issues. That idea of, we know our system was out of date and needs some maintenance that needed to be done. And two, the idea, do we want to switch away from the Orion system? The actual handheld radios, when we did that conversion, there was a little bit of a difference, and Captain Roberts could speak more specific to it, or Jason, where the output of them was not quite what our original radios were. And then that, along with all these other variables on the transfer over, we did have some problems initially with the radios bonking or not getting out. Those problems have pretty much been resolved. I think we can get better in building penetration with a closer tower along the bluff, which is the tower that will be placed here, which would help Council Bluffs out significantly. But to be honest, it wasn't. When I hear end user complaints, the problem is this is such a complex system and there's so many variables and so much cleaning that the sheriff's department had to work with Motorola and Jason to tweak things and to study exactly. Motorola came multiple times and we did tests with our handhelds trying to identify exactly what was causing the problem. But understand that's kind of over here. The idea of Orion versus ISIX has its positives, both currently and for the future of our county and the regional area in Southwest Iowa if we move to that system. Obviously, any consolidation of PSAPs in the future, Pot County would not be considered for because we're not on their radio system. If the state wants to go that way, and I honestly think the taxpayers probably deserve it to save taxpayer dollars throughout Southwest Iowa, we seriously need to look at, can we consolidate some of these 911 centers for the future savings, obviously.
I think the state's pushing things to go that way, and we'll see that this year in the study or the session up in Des Moines.
Yeah.
Do you feel the radios will last another 10 years after we get IS6? I'm kind of asking you, Chief James, and Motorola at the same time.
There's not been an end of life, Motorola, correct me if I'm wrong, there's not been an end of life stated yet for the current portables that we're wearing. We have the Apex 8000s and the Apex Next. There's no end of life that's been set yet. So at that point, I think that we're still safe with the current communication equipment that we have as far as what the users
Actually,
wearing.
users, yeah.
We're trying to make the investment to make everybody safer. And it's a huge bite for all of us up here. There really is. We know we need to do it, but man, you know, yes, on a $16-18 million project is hard, but for safety. And then if we have to turn around and buy radios yet again, that will hurt, you know? So
I'd like to add that whether we stay on Orion or move to IS6, our end user radios is not going to matter. If they come to end of life on either system, it's the end of life. So it doesn't matter if we stay on Orion or IS6 as far as the portables that we're all carrying for first responders.
I used to work for Altel Communications, and they had, at one time, had Motorola equipment on their cell sites. I installed Motorola equipment. I've been out to your training center out there by Chicago. So, and I'm not saying Motorola is not a good company, it's a great company. But Motorola is all about Motorola. I mean, I learned that a long time ago. And, the cost of this kind of a network being installed is really a lot for us. Just let you guys know. And some kind of a performance guarantee would certainly be something I would be looking for. So that's where I'm at.
Well, I'd encourage the board to lobby the state legislators, to lobby the federal legislators to address some of that. I mean, that's not something that isn't something that's going to get fixed in this system. We don't really have a choice. We're on Motorola. And how you regulate that in the future for the federal government and the state governments, that it's definitely something that needs to be looked at. They're looking at fire truck manufacturers today for similar problems where you have a very reduced number of fire truck manufacturers and the prices have tripled or doubled.
yes,
And
yes.
so that's a problem for the United States, not necessarily for this board, but no matter what, we're still talking about a spoke and a wheel. And the radios are a spoke. The wheel is in general is what we are talking about replacing, the hub and everything, because this is the brains of our whole operation. What system are we on? So what wheel are we going to run, basically? And so I just don't know that there's there's no other option, to be honest.
With over 3,000 counties in the United States, that's a big ticket.
Okay,
Does anybody else from the task force have anything they'd like to add?
Okay, so Motorola, you're thinking December 17th? We're okay on the money until then?
I can't answer that right now.
Okay, we'll be anxiously awaiting.
well, we still have time if they want to do something, but, the number one thing is to try to nail down some accurate, 100% accurate costs. I mean, it's, moving to IS6, I don't think is, I think it's absolutely the right thing to do. If the state does decide to do regional 911 centers, we would not even be considered if we're not on IS6. So this is a huge bite, and I think that we can make things work. I just want a solid number to work with, so.
Well, I mean, I provided Captain Arkfeld and Susan the updated for the 3 different options, so.
Okay, I haven't seen those yet.
You guys have those in hand, let's look up.
So
Is there anything from the task force that the board needs to identify the site? Because that seems to be the holdup. He gave you 3 options. Is there anything we need to do to help you guys along that line? Like, I mean, to some of the, picking the site in Crescent, I think that's what Supervisor Wickman is, that's another number you want to see, right? Ongoing cost. Is there anything we need to help to get that going?
We went out to the sites where I met with them and they looked them over and they are studying them. We've got down to 2 different sites. So it's getting close. And it's really the lease per year and the maintenance of getting it up the road, you know? One has got a huge road, the next one's smaller, and then the next one's even smaller yet. And we got to figure all that out. I want to thank everybody on the task force for really putting your 2 cents in there, and we really respect that. Thanks for attending those and leading those, okay? All right, we'll wait for your answer. Okay, next up,
Thank you, guys.
Sam Markville, Communications, Angie Dobbins, Training and Q&A Coordinator, Communications, and Jasmine Elmore, Director, Human Resources, Discussion and/or decision to authorize and approve the new job descriptions for the addition of 4 full-time call taker positions and to proceed with recruiting and hiring for these positions. Would you speak to that?
Sure. So I'd like to just give you a quick summary. I don't know how long it's been, maybe a month or so. We brought you a study that showed how many positions we should have for the amount of calls that we're receiving in our radio traffic. And for the size of our center, the study showed that we should have an additional 3.43 dispatchers and 4.38 call takers. Currently, we do not have call takers in our center. And my proposal is to allow us to create that position as a call taker, hire 4 positions to help with the workload in the center, which in turn will help with our training of staff. So I've been in my current position for about 5 years now, and we have never been fully staffed, that is. We've been hiring the entire time. We've had breaks here and there because our training program was full. And Angie's been with the center for over 20 years, I believe.
24.
And she's never been full. So something needs to change, and we want to try the call taker position. We feel like, you know, larger centers will have call takers, and I feel like we're at that point where we need to create a call taker position so we can let the dispatchers focus on what they're doing and they're not having to do both. And we're hoping this will also help getting people through the training program. We have a very high unsuccessful rate of completing the training program because of the amount of work they have to do, the amount of information they have to retain. And so with the call taker position, we're hoping that that will help us be more successful when we have applicants applying for the position.
And Sam, last time you talked about address this issue, you said that that 6-month training program cost about $80,000 for one person to go through.
For one person, with all the
And
time.
you have a drop-off rate of about 50%, correct? So that's just money gone. That's just money out the window. I would be certainly supportive of this effort right here. So that's me.
I appreciate it. And I hope that, you know, if we get the approval, our overtime rate will go down. We'll be more successful in the training of the applicants and not have this constant hiring process that takes a lot of effort from everybody involved.
A little less pressure on your 911 operators also.
Right. Yep.
What's the, Sam, what's the current staffing levels right now?
So we're authorized for 28 dispatchers.
Okay. And you have how many? 25. Is it your plan still to try to hire 3 more?
We have 3 in the training program right now. I think 1. We're currently in the training program. We still need to get 2 more brought on. But the training program, we had one just graduate from the training program, which honestly, it's been probably a year since we had someone graduate from the training program. She was just successful in completing that training program. And so we were holding off to see how this would go and see if we're able to start bringing in call takers. Call takers, we're hoping to have them trained in about 8 weeks, where they can start answering the phone, gather the information, put it into our CAD system. And for a full dispatcher, it takes 6 months, 6 months.
The cost of those for employees are going to be $350,000, $400,000.
We had figured $307,793.
And does that include insurance?
Yep. Yep. And we
Taxes, IPERS, and that's at what rate, Sam?
that is one thing I did not.
2340.
2340. Okay.
What is it?
2340.
Okay. Where are you going to find $300,000?
Well, I don't generate revenue in my office, unfortunately. So that's why I have to come to the board and ask for you guys to find some funding. I'm just asking that you prioritize this. I've heard other presentations today, and I feel like ours is a priority, and I hope that you're able to find those fundings. We're gonna reduce our overtime. I'm confident of that. So there'll be some funding there, but our center just doesn't generate revenue.
You're fortunate you have your chief deputy with us here today too. Steve, do you have any way you can find $300,000 to cover the costs?
Like we talked before, I think we gave back just over 100,000 out of their budget, so we don't have a significant amount of money in the 911 budget down there.
The money that was given back was from wages that weren't spent because people didn't get hired.
In totality of all the different line items where we were under budget.
Yeah. So, we're in the middle of a budget year here, and not only would we need to find, just say 150,000 for the remainder of this year, we would have to make it another 150,000 for the beginning of next year. Where's the board plan to get it?
Well, I'm certainly in favor of this program because I can't see money going out the window when people go through that program, and that's money that's lost. That's money that we could be saving, in my opinion. And, like I said, I would look for ways to support this program.
I don't have any issues with supporting it. I want to be able to pay for it.
Well,
And I think
Mitch,
we can tax Mitch to work on it and see if you could find the money to approve that. I don't have any issues with the job descriptions. I think that now that we know that it's we need 150,000 for the remainder of this year, and then we need to find another 150 for next year, just to pay for those four. If you give us, we're not in a race here, right? Well, maybe we are in a race, but I don't want to be in a race if we don't have the money. We'll ask Mitch to see if he can find some ways to fund it. And but if you want a motion, Chairman Shea, I'll make a motion to approve the job descriptions.
Okay.
And task Mitch with providing places where this board can find the money.
Okay, I got a motion and a second. I do believe this is the way to go. I think we're burning our 911 operators out. They deserve a life other than just working down there. I called in, I had a controlled burn. You're supposed to call it in. I believe I talked to a 911 operator the other day when I called that in, and I thought, what an extremely expensive call for them. Pick up the phone, and I told them I was going to do a burn. They said, call in later when you're done, which I did, but I just thought, what a waste of resources. And a caller taker sure could have done that without someone, any one of us could have called in and says, hey, 911, there's someone breaking in my home. Hey, hold on a second. We're on another call. How would you like that? I feel that's our first line of defense, and I think we need to support this with all diligence. So with that, I will ask for a vote on this.
The motion has been revised from as it is written. So the motion by Supervisor Wickman is to approve the new job descriptions and task Mitch Kai with a way to find the money for the four full-time call takers for the communications center.
You seconded.
I second it, yeah.
Are you approving?
That's the way, if that's the way it is, you know. Tim, you want any input?
Motion says it all.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Get that as soon as we can, okay? I'd like to see that back on the agenda here within the next week or two. Possibility, Mitch?
Try to find some money.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For your work.
Next up, Dixie Wilson, County Technician, Auditor's Office. Discussion and or decision to approve, disallow the following applications made to the Assessor's Office. Homestead, 68 recommended, allowed, 1 recommended disallowed. Military, 6 recommended allowed, 0 recommended disallowed.
Wait, did you say military? 6 was allowed, 2 disallowed.
Is that what I said?
I thought you said 0.
I said 0 recommended disallowed.
There's 2 recommended disallowed under the military.
Oh, okay.
So it's incorrect on.
Hold on, that was military. The disabled American deal is 2 recommended allowed and 0 recommended disallowed. Family farm, 15 recommended allowed, 0 recommended disallowed. We good?
So
No,
military
we're
is the
not
only
good.
one that needs to be changed, 6 and 2.
Yeah, because I'm
I
on the
didn't see
agenda,
the
it is
2.
correct.
I think on the cover sheet, it's right,
Okay,
but you're reading from the script.
I'm reading from the. Okay, I see it on the other one. 2 recommended disallowed for the military. Okay,
Wait a second. Hold on one second, Brian.
yep,
The,
we got 2 different sheets here.
I've got 3 total on the military disallowed. How come?
I have 2. I have 1 homestead and 2 military. 1 homestead, now, there is a homestead and a military that are the same parcel number because it had both credits
Okay,
applied.
that's my issue. Okay, I'm good. I'll make a motion to approve those as listed, Brian.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dixie.
Thank you, Dixie.
Any appointments? Sure.
Well, last week, we didn't meet on Tuesday, so it was a Wednesday. And we all were in here early for the CR and South Noble Drainage District meeting. And also Friday, I was out with Supervisor Wickman, was out to the 340th Street Road Shop to meet with employees out there and meet the new county engineer. And we got quite a few more shops to go on Friday. And there's 7 shops all in the county. So we're going to be meeting at those shops, every one of them, those that work there. And I certainly appreciate what the roads department does for this county. They do a great job. So we're just out there to thank them and for what they do. Appreciate it. That's all I have.
I was at the VA last week. The Pot County Visitor Bureau, WIDA board. We had a board meeting here on Wednesday, and I spent time at the roads with the engineer and Board of Health. Okay. Susan?
I had a WIDA meeting last week. I had a phone call to discuss the Minden recovery efforts with McClure and Iowa West Foundation. I spent some time with our roads engineer yesterday. Iowa West Racing, MAPPA, and Thriving Families were all committee assignments that I was a second on, that I will step up to fill those meeting requirements for the rest of the year.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Tim?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay.
Chairman Shea, before we move on, by the way, there are no public comments, but we will need to have roll call votes on the selection of you as chair and Supervisor Wickman as, so are you okay if I read the motions?
Yes, let's do it now. Get it done.
Thank you. The motion was made by Wickman, seconded by Jorgensen, to appoint Brian Shea as the chair as the chair for the remainder of 2025. Chairman Shea.
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Aye.
Motion carries. Second motion was by Miller, seconded by Jorgensen, to name Supervisor Wickman as the chair pro tem for the remainder of 2025. Chairman Belt. Excuse me, Chairman Shea.
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary
Thanks for
Ann.
doing that.
Brian, I'll make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.5, parent 1, parent C, for pending or potential litigation.
Second.
Please do a roll call, Mary Ann.
Chairman Shea.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
Aye.
Supervisor Jorgensen.
Aye.
Supervisor Wickman.